Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video. Hope everyone is well. This is episode number...
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
Well, I'll tell you how. Here's my coffee. So, how old is Joshua?
I have no idea. 35,
And how old was he last year?
34,
So add 100.
134
There we go, 134.
here.
So, I'm starting Christmas. I know tomorrow is Thanksgiving and our anniversary for 43 years. So, my dad used to say, yeah, you just kind of get used to it. And you've been married a long time. Okay, what have I been stitching? Because that's what you're here to see. I have 4 finishes. 2 were starts and finishes, and 2 were whips that I finished. And then I did some fully finishing, which is a shocker. So let me show you first my fully finishes. No, my finishes. This one was a whip. This is Paper Snowflakes by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. I did this on a piece of Dixie Sampler Barn Owl 40 count. And here is my finish. Hope you can see that. We're doing a little bit different angle today, so I hope you can see everything. The next whip that I finished, so that was a whip that I finished, Paper Snowflakes. The next one that I finished is also by Brenda Gervais. It's called The Best Time of the Year. And I must have got a kit from her or from her website, because I also have the little buttons that go on it. So you can see there's little kind of flower-shaped buttons. So I need to sew those on before I can fully finish it. So it basically says, it's kind of hard to see, but it says, have a holly, and then of course jolly Christmas. The only thing I changed on this was I moved one of the reindeer up so that I could make a little bit bigger C for Christmas. Have a holly jolly Christmas. This is the title of the pattern, though, is Best Time of the Year. I finished those 2. Those were whips. The next thing I finished, and it also has a little secondary piece, but I haven't done that yet. But this is the red and green carnation sampler. And this is by Samplers Remembered, which is Linda Danielson. I did get this as a kit from Country Sampler. And I think it was a club kit, but it is available now. You can go on their website, shopcountrysampler.com, and it's under Samplers Remembered. So I still have the linen and the ribbon to do that little roll. I don't know if I'll do it as a roll. I like ruching on things like that, but I'm not very good at it, so I'm not sure. So anyway, here's my finished piece. Again, red and green carnation sampler. This is on, I think it's, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's 40 count used to be called Confederate Gray. Now it's just gray by weeks. Oh, and that Holly Jolly, that was on whatever it called for. That was a R&R linen, I believe. So that was a finish and a start and finish. The next one that I finished, and you can see I have a lot of stuff around here. I'm going to be showing you a lot of my smalls that are Christmas. And then hopefully I can video again sometime like the middle of December, and I'll show you all my framed pieces that are Christmas. I think I have like 12 or 13 framed pieces, and then some that need to be framed. But the next one I finished was also Brenda Gervais. And this one I have like a little green check on the back and a red rickrack. And this one is Seasons of the Heart, Winter. And it is in the book Seasons of the Heart, which has 4. So it has spring, summer, autumn, and winter. This is winter that I just finished. So I now have all of them finished. So this is spring and summer. I don't know where I'm putting all this. And then this is, what did I do with fall? I had it here a second ago. Well, here's winter again. Fall is around here somewhere. Fall fell off the table. Fall fell. So now I have all 4 of those finished. I can file that book. Okay, so that's from Seasons of the Heart by Brenda Gervais. I didn't do the little tags. And I will tell you on winter, all of them are exactly the same, except for winter. You have to add a stitch if you're going to just do it continuous. You have to add a stitch on the bottom, but wasn't a big deal. What did I do with fall? That's kind of bizarre. And what else have I been stitching? I've been working on Dasher and Dancer. This again was a kit from Country Sampler. The model on the picture was done in red, but the Country Sampler is done with green. So that's what I'm doing. And this is on, back up. All of those Seasons of the Heart are on 40 count vintage country mocha by Zweigart. And this is my progress on Dasher and Dancer. And I'm using a green that was part of the Country Sampler kit. So I'm not going to tell you what color that is, but if you call Country Sampler and you order the thread or the pattern or both, you can get their color conversion. So it's obviously a monochromatic, is that the right word? Stitch. So sometimes I kind of get bored with that. Just doing one color. Call me crazy. Anyway, the other thing that I've been working on, or that I started, haven't done much on it, is this one by Plum Street that's called This Joyous Season. And I have a little tiny start on this one. This is on 46 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit, and this is a huge piece, but I'm not going to cut it down until I get at least all the way across on the border. So I just have the top word that says repeat. So I'm anxious to get back with that. And here I see fall is hiding here. So this was autumn from Seasons of the Heart. And this one I fully finished. I finished this one in October, so I just fully finished it. So those are two of my fully finishes. You all right? He's having a coughing fit. So those are two of the finishes that I fully finished. This one, the winter one. And then I have another one I'm going to show you. I did 4. You'd think I'd be a little more organized. As much time as it takes me to get going. Anyway, and this one I said it was on 46 count baked clay, and here are the threads for this. Now there is a really bright blue because it actually has maybe an Australian flag. Yes, Australian flag on the pattern, which is right here by my index finger. And I'm going to do the American flag, so I may not use that really bright blue that's in there. So those are all overdyed cottons. And that's what I've been stitching. And then as far as fully finishing, I did those 2 those 2 Seasons of the Heart pieces. And then I also fully finished this one. I had this at one point in a frame, and it didn't really fit well. This is Jingle Bells by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This one is on straw, 35 count straw. You know, when you get older, some things don't work as well as they did. You know, maybe it's your eyesight, maybe it's your mobility, whatever. You know, things don't work as well as you get older. Well, obviously my gluing skills have kind of deteriorated, because I used to be able to glue rickrack on and I didn't have a problem. I don't know if most of the rickrack I use is cotton, and this bigger rickrack that I put on this one is, you know, like you'd buy from, used to be Joann's, but from a sewing store. And it's actually rayon. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the fact that it just wouldn't stay glued. I don't know. I use the same glue. So anyway, there it is. Again, that one's called Jingle Bells by Brenda Gervais. So even though it's a bigger pillow, I'm much happier with it than when I tried to put it in a frame that was not the right size. So that was part of my fully finishing, even though I had stitched it last year. I have a lot more things that need to be fully finished, so as time permits, I will gradually get to some of those. I thought about the week between Christmas and New Year's doing over one stitching, because I have pieces that need a lot of over one stitching, and fully finishing. I mean, perfect time, right? The other thing I kind of touched up, I had this one done for a long time, and I really don't remember the name of this one, but it's a blackbird. Some people have framed it. When I originally fully finished it, I put walnut shells in here, and I didn't put enough, so it would kind of sink, and it was just not real cute. So I opened up a seam, and then I added more walnut shells. But that is a blackbird piece. And it looks like I have the same linen on the back, but it's actually a small print. So I've had this one done for a while, but I just kind of beefed it up a little bit. And the other thing that I fully finished were these cuties. So this is Stacy Nash, Whitaker, and Paisley. So Whitaker has a little tree, has the heart on the back. You can put your scissors. It's got a little tree. Isn't he cute? And then Paisley, the pattern shows her to have a little drum, which is not really stitched. It's just, I think it's actually made out of batting. And then you just, make the lines on it. It's a drum. And then you make the lines on it to look like it's a drum. But I didn't really like that. I mean, I like it, but I didn't want to take the time. So I just put a star on her. So she's going to put the star on the top of Whitaker's tree. And she also has the wool heart on the back for what's open for scissors. The wool I used for her is a little more loosely woven, so it's a little ravelly, but she's just going to sit around. The other thing I realized as I was looking at the pattern on Whitaker is that you're supposed to backstitch between his shirt and his pants, and I didn't do that because I didn't read the instructions. I guess that's kind of... I didn't read the instructions till I was ready to do the tree. By that time, he was done and stuffed. I was like, oh, okay. But aren't they cute? They just make the cutest little pair. So these are part of her Animal Cracker series.
Sort of like us.
Yeah. Only these guys are cold because they're snowmen. We live in hot. Although today's the last day, it's supposed to be in the 80s. Yes, I said 80s. We had a cool snap for a while, and then it got hot again. But tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, I think it's supposed to be like low in the 40s and high in the 60s, which is perfect. Perfect. So anyway, that's my first 2 animal crackers that I finished. I have many more that I want to do and look forward to doing those because they are adorable. And like I said, we're just old women playing with dolls, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you a lot of my previously finished smalls, pillows, and that kind of thing. And then, like I said, in a couple weeks, if I do another video, which hopefully I'll have time to do during the Christmas rush, and I'm going to do framed pieces that are Christmas. I will tell you, this is Brenda Gervais, the Noel pattern, and I also have a lot of people that always ask about this. This is Rachel Howells, 18-something by Scarlet House. This is Mary Bars by Stacy Nash. This one is, it's by Chessie and Me. Esther Idison. I think those are the only 3 you can see. This one is Red Deer, but you can't really see that very much. Okay, just in case people want to ask. Now I'm going to show you. I had to really search for some of the patterns because I keep the patterns in like, it's kind of one of those like sleeves that you can put multiple things in, and it's under my bed for all the smaller patterns. Well, at some point, some of them had gone even further under my bed. And I was searching for the pattern. I'm like, I'm missing a bunch of patterns. So I went and got a flashlight and looked, and yes, way under my bed were the rest of the patterns, along with a lot of dust. So I guess
rope around your ankle.
No rope around my ankle. But anyway, so this is the first one I want to show you. This is Threadwork Primitives Christmas Fruit Basket. And it calls for 32 count vintage pearl barley. I might have used pearl barley, but I would not have used 32. And here's the finish. Very cute. This is a fairly easy. I love to do berry bowl baskets or berry bowls, whatever you want to call them. This one really goes fast. This is a cute one you could finish before Christmas if you started now. So I have that one. I think that's the only threadwork primitives I have. I have this one, which is 1831 Christmas by Plum Street. And I'm not crazy about the white and green cording, but at this point, I'm not going to change it. It's very cute. 1831 Christmas. The next one I want to show you is a two-part. This is Stacy Nash. This was originally Country Sampler Silent Night Pin Keep and Ornament, but it's been released, I believe, now. Stitched a while ago. Here's part one. Very cute. And here's part two. One I stuffed with sawdust. This one is just fiberfill. But even if you just did this, just these little ones, you know, that you can tuck in, put out, and they just look really cute. The next one is La-Di-Da. This is a Merry Christmas sampler by La-Di-Da. I believe this was a kit because I don't think I would have picked wool for the backing. It must have come with it. And it's got like a red wool on the back. Most of these I'm sure I used the called for. I love that one. Again, Merry Christmas sampler. This is another one, and this actually I stitched twice because I stitched it once and gave it as a gift and then stitched it for myself. This one I used 40 count mocha by Weeks. I wrote on there, so that's obviously different. And this one is Merry Christmas Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. I love the two deer. It's just classic. And the little ditzy print on the back. Again, this was on 40 count mocha by Weeks. Great color with that red. Sawdust. This one I've never been really happy with my finish. Let's see, where's part two to this one? It's around here somewhere. I have so much stuff on the table. Well, let me pause doing that one because maybe I didn't get it. Well, I'll go ahead and show it to you. I've done both parts. This one might still be in the cabinet. I had Camille help me, my granddaughter help me pull out all of the Christmas ones, and it might have been one we missed. Stacy Nash Snowed In Pin Keep and Ornament. And I've done the snow one, but I don't see it here, so I may have missed getting it out. So this is the larger one. I really don't like this finish, but I don't know if I dislike it enough to redo it. It's just like on a board. The problem is I didn't use like foam core. I just used a piece of cardboard, and it's just not very thick. It's kind of, I don't know, wobbly or whatever. But it's cute. I love the red house with the white roof. The next one is another Brenda Gervais, A Winter's Day Visit. Somebody just showed this recently. Maybe it was tattoo. No, it wasn't Tattooed Stitcher. Might have been Red Velvet Quilts. And she said, that's a lot of stitching on that snowman. Yeah, but look at how cute it turns out to be. Very cute. And the buttons I sewed, I purposely used different size buttons because I just thought that was cute. And I just hang it on a knob, like on a cabinet. Just have some greenery and a bell on a pipe cleaner stuck inside there. The next one is a blackbird. I didn't get out this book. I stitched this last year. This is the other one that I fully finished this week. And again, my gluing skills are a little to be desired. So it's a blackbird, and I just don't remember what book it's in. But this one I use kind of a ditzy. There's a lot of teal kind of color in this. The house is probably Mountain Mist, and what's the other one that's kind of tealy? Anyway, so I decided, and it's supposed to have beads, but I just did French knots up by the bird and the berries. So this is like a tealy green, and then I use the red rickrack, which makes really a cute combination. Very fun. It's hard to see the alphabet in white, but it does show up in person. The next one is another Stacy Nash. This is Country Sampler, Sleigh Bells, Pin Keep and Ornament. I was a member of a Stacy Nash club through Country Sampler for a while, so that's where some of these came from. And that one's, again, Sleigh Bells, Pin Keep and Ornament. And I did both, but I bet I didn't get those out either. Either that or my granddaughter put them somewhere, and I don't know where they are. That's always a possibility, because I told her she could just put them out wherever she wanted. So there's also this, it has a sleigh and a tree. If I come across it before next time, I will show it. So this is the bigger piece. Stacy Nash she just is so creative. And then when you hear her tell that she just stitches, she doesn't necessarily draw out or graph the pattern first, she just stitches. It's like, wow. So I'm looking to, and I'm seeing that a lot of these are either Stacy Nash or Brenda Gervais. Another country sampler. This was another one that was probably part of the kit or the club. December 25th Pin Keep, and I'm sure these are available because I got this years ago. And so there's this one. Very cute. Yeah. And then this is another Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread, Merry Old Soul. And this one actually called for 46 count Confederate Gray by Weeks. So I did it on the 46 because I do what I'm told. He left the building, so he's probably not going to disagree with that. Oh, he's back. I said I do what I'm told. And
Sounds like the trick comment.
Merry Old Soul, here he is. He's just got a check on the back, green, and then he has green rickrack and a little bow. I might add some bows to some of the things I finished. I worked the last 2 days on finishing 4 smalls like this, and then the 2 animal crackers. I'm either slow. I'm slow. because it's not like I do too much detail. I'm not a great finisher, but I can finish. Mariel Soul, he's adorable. And then here's another one that's Brenda Gervais. This is Peppermint Pals. And this is done on Mint Lugana. Is it on Lugana? Yeah, I guess it is. Cool. Peppermint Pals. And he has like a ditzy, it almost looks like a tilde, but it's not a tilde because I finished this last year or the year before. And then kind of a tealy rickrack. Isn't he cute? He's very cute. A couple more. This is another Brenda Gervais, Snow for Christmas. This is another one that's filled with polyfill, which I don't usually use, but I like the weight of sawdust. So there he is. Snow for Christmas. This one is a Chessie and Me called Be Merry Pin Pillow. I'm not sure what this one is on. It looks like it could be a Weeks. He just has a check on the back. Actually, it's a printed plaid. Be Merry Pin Pillow by Chessie and Me. If you've noticed, there's a lot of red houses, but that's all good. And then a couple more. This is Jack Frost. The reason I'm showing a lot, I'm going to show a lot of ornaments. Some of them I know where I got them, and some of them I don't, because I want to decorate my little ornament tree that's here in the dining room. But this is called Jack Frost. This was originally a kit. It's in a little box. But I think she probably has it just as the pattern now. But this came with the chart, the plastic dome, the cardboard to put mounted on, the checked ribbon, and a hook, which I don't know where the hook went to. It's probably in with my other ornaments, but. So mine came apart, and all the snowy stuff came out. So I just redid it this year, glued the back on better, and because it's just it's just like half of a dome. And then I just put white beads because I don't know what I had it in before, but it's supposed to, looks like a little bit of it's got the snow in it. Sorry for the glare. It's a little snowman in a little globe. He's cute. And then a couple more. This is Brenda Gervais also. Mary Noel. I love these big words, just like the Jolly that I just finished. And this Noel, and I've done Bloom, and I think I've done Nest, but she has quite a few of them, and I just think they're so cute. Mary Noel. Just finished with like a gold. This one actually could have a little more sawdust added. Sawdust it settles, and so you really have to pack it. And years ago I wasn't packing it as much as I do now. So. And where do I get the sawdust? My husband does woodwork, and so he brings it. But before, when he was still working his full-time job, before he really got back into woodworking, I would order it from Etsy. So you can go on Etsy and just Google sawdust, or you can go to your local wherever. Trouble is, if you go to your local place, it may have a lot of dust in it, and it may be different types of wood. So I think he told me pine. Was the other one poplar that I like?
Poplar and cherry.
Poplar,
and
cherry.
maple.
And he said actually the consistency of the sawdust has more to do with the machine that was used. In other words, like a lathe is going to have bigger like curls, and they're more crunchy. I like the softer sawdust that's more like shaved almost. Does that make sense?
Check at Rockler. We give it away all the time.
Oh, he works at Rockler part-time. The woods, what's it called? Rockler Wood Store?
Woodworking. Rockler Woodworking.
Rockler Woodworking, and he said they give it away. So anyway, Noel, cute with the bird and the nest. So cute. Couple more. This is Holiday Hoopla, again by Brenda Gervais. Very cute. Now this one doesn't have anything. I did put a little bit of fiberfill so it would puff out a little bit, but it's just on a little hoop. And well, maybe not this one. I think I did put a little bit of stain on the hoop so it wasn't quite as light colored. And then this one is Santa's Tree Farm. These are easy, quick stitches too. Brenda Gervais. At the time I got these, I think I got them as kits when Brenda had a pop-up shop at one of the Amana retreats. So I'm not sure where you can get these small hoops, but you know, Amazon has everything. Santa's Tree Farm. My bow's a little big, so you can't really see it. There you go. Cute. The next one is, this is no longer available. I gave it as a gift at an Amana retreat, and somebody asked Brenda, because it's a With Thy Needle and Thread, if she was ever going to rechart this, and she said no. So it's completely out of stock. And actually, I only stitched half of it. The bottom half says, "In the meadow we can build a snowman," and he's adorable. But this was one of her, I believe, first cross-stitch patterns. In fact, it didn't have symbols. It was a colored chart, so whatever was white, you stitched in white. Whatever was red, you stitched in red. So, in the meadow. I just have a plaid on the back. And I've loaned the pattern out. I'm pretty sure it's loaned out now. I loan it to friends that I know will give it back. So, anyway, very cute. And then, this is a pillow, but it's upside down. Prairie Schooler Santa. I think this is 2016. And it's done on 7 count. I got my kit from Shepherd's Bush years ago. And at that time, there was more than one color of Clostern, which is the name of the 7 count. I think this was called, I shouldn't say because I don't remember, but this is the 2016 Santa. And it's done, since it's 7 count, it's done with pearl cotton. Some of it's Weeks and some of it's DMC, but it's pearl cotton. I made it like an envelope, where you use 2 pieces, one's bigger than the other. And then you lap them over and sew the whole thing all the way around. That way I can take the pillow form out to store it during the year. Another pillow, and I made this moons ago, many, many moons ago. And again, I did the whole envelope style. This was by a gal called I Done My Best. That's the name of her patterns. I believe somebody said she passed away. So I don't know. I still have quite a few. It's totally all embroidered. Frosty is the name of the pattern. I done my best. And at that time it came with these little star buttons, but a lot of it, like this one star and the heart down here and those two hearts, they're all like French knots. It's really cute. And the kit came with the muslin, the star buttons, and the pattern. And you trace it on there. Let's see, a couple other things, and then I'm going to take a short break. Hold on, I can't reach this one. I had a couple things here that were gifts to me. The first one was Heidi. I can't remember what her YouTube name used to be. Heidi Cran. She lives in Canada. And she made that one for me. I'm not sure. My guess would be, I don't think I've ever seen it as Stacy Nash, but it could be Pineberry Lane. I really don't know. Like I said, it was gifted to me. But I love this one. Really cute. And then the other one I was gifted, and this is a Scarlet House pattern. This is Marion Bright. Not Marion, like the name. I used to have an Aunt Marion. Aunt Marion and Uncle Lawrence. My dad's brother and his wife. Anyway, Mary and Bright. Very cute. Christy Crosshatch Quilts made this for me. One year we did an exchange. And the other gift that I have that I treasure, this was made by Jen Wintizer, who has since passed away. She's the one that was a very good friend of Tara's. And this is the Letters for Santa. I had the pattern, even though I never stitched it, but I had the pattern. Noisy crinkling.
Just crinkle.
And I just treasure this. So special. She didn't directly give it to me. I stole it in one of those white elephant or whatever you want to call those exchanges, Chinese exchanges, whatever. Anyway, and it has the ticking on the back. It's filled with sawdust, and it's fabulously finished. And all these little extra, the bell, the thread, the I don't know what these are called. We used to make them in Girl Scout camp. And the key and the bell, it's just over the top wonderful. That's always one of the first things I get out every year. Okay, one more of these, and then I'm going to take a break. This is Horse Country Holiday, and this was a kit from Country Sampler years ago. I made it into a pillow like they did. I need to press some of the rickrack has gotten folded. I filled it with sawdust, and it needs a little tune-up, but it's really cute. And the colors are Country Sampler conversion colors, so if you want to do it like they did. Now, I added the fabric at the bottom. What it came with was the kit for the stitching and the rickrack. I think the rickrack. Maybe not the rickrack. Don't quote me on that one. But for sure, her colors conversion. Horse Country Holiday. I'm going to show you a few more random ornaments. Oh, this was another gift. I think this is a Brenda Gervais. This was a gal that used to be in our stitching group, and then she moved. Her name was Marianne. Again, excellent finishing, fully finishing. Love it. So I'm not sure the name of this one, but I'm pretty sure it's a Brenda Gervais. Really nice. These I made, well, in 1981. That was like the second year that I started stitching, before we were even married. I had bought a house, and I had one of those, it was a creative something party that you have at your house, and it's all these different craft kits. And it's like the old people nowadays really don't realize, but there used to be home parties for Tupperware, and you would go to the home party at whoever was hosting it and hostessing it, and then you would have a little demo by the person that put on that came from the company that had the kits, and they would do a little demo, and then you could buy kits. So these two were needlepoint, creative something, I think. I can't remember. Anyway, I did a little bit of needlepoint around the same time that I did cross stitch. So these are bells. And you actually do it like a big square, and then you fold it in on the back and stitch it together. So I have one that's the bells, and then the other one's the tree. Eons ago. And then I actually have here's another gift. This one was 2 gifts. These were both given to me by somebody that was in our stitching group and moved. Her name was Subi. I think these are probably Little House Needleworks or Country Cottage, because she did a lot of their patterns. Very cute. So those go on my ornament tree. This was a cross stitch I did, again, 1981. This was on like 18 count Ada, I think, with the little kind of chintzy finishing, but hey, it's got memories. So that one was the tree. This one says holiday greetings, again on like, it was either 18 or 20 Ada. And I remember these, and I've told you before, I had some Prairie Schooler Santas and some ornaments. I had a bell pool. Anyway, we had a leak in our garage, and some of my things got damaged. You can still tell that this one had water damage. But a sweet person last year, actually a couple of them, sent me some new of these little
frames.
Yeah, little round ornament frames. So I reframed them this year. So this one is the partridge. I didn't do that very even. And these I remember were on 22 count Ada and the bell. And back before I wore glasses. This is not necessarily Christmas, but this was in the god-awful, ugliest pillow, and it had behind the cross stitch. Well, first of all, it had ruffles and eyelet ruffles. Now, if you still have things like this, I call them Grandma Craft Show uglies. But it also had potpourri behind it. And I was like, I just cut that thing up, and I reframed this one. And this was one of the first cross stitch I ever did. Just the house with the heart and the little checkerboard. But the way I cut it, I didn't have a lot of margin, so I had to kind of frame it tight. And then I have these wool pieces, and I actually have more. This one is a tree. It's all wool applique. Another tree. And these were kits too. An angel. An ornament bell, and a little fireplace. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break if my husband will help me turn it off. He's close by. So I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, I'm going to show you some of the things I want to stitch, which is lots, and then a few things that came in the mail. So I will be right back. See, I'm back. I've had a lot of small pillow finishes, but I really enjoy the, what do you call it, the quick gratification, whatever, when you get things like that done. So I have these. These are Plum Street. I'm going to do them on the same linen, even though it really only one of them is supposed to be on the, it's an R&R Stars Hollow. But I have a big enough piece that I'm going to do all three of them, I think, on this. This is Mary 1, Mary 2, and Mary 3. These came out in 2017, so they're not new. But I think they'll be sort of quick finishes. So there's Mary 1. This is Mary 2. And this is Mary 3. So I think I'm going to work on those. Put them all on the... One of them has linen in it, and the other, I have a big, not a big, but a piece of 36 count Stars Hollow that I can use for those. And I think they all have the threads in them. One or two of them were dying to stitch kits, so they came with the threads, yeah. And then I told you this last time and I haven't gotten back to it. This is The Snowball by Brenda Gervais. And I've done one. And I need to do some more. So I have plenty of linen here. And there's some really cute ones in here. I think I talked about this last time. I'm not going to do this one that looks like another photo. But I for sure want to do these three on the front. So I'd like to do 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then either this guy on the inside cover, or there's a like a candy house, or this one. I don't know. I have all of the threads. They're mostly DMCs. So I'd like to get, and I have a really cute fabric that was originally by Riley Blake with snowmen on it, but some of the scale is kind of big. But I might, in other words, let me show you here if I can. So there's big snowmen, little snowmen. So I'm hoping some of the smaller snowmen, like this one, I could use for a backing. We'll see. Might not work. This got cut off of some quilt because it looks like it's a border. Once in a while when I finish quilts, people will say, I don't want that extra fabric, you can have it. So that was the case there. Oh, this is more winter brew that goes in that. And then I'm going to show you next time framed pieces. But another thing I'd like, those are the smalls that I'd like to do. And the other thing that I'd like to do, and this is in a really pretty Tilda bag that I got from Buckleberry Quilts. I think I showed you this last time. There are 4 Christmas pieces that Blackbird did. And I finished one last year. So I think it was just called Merry Christmas. So the other 3, one is Feliz Navidad. I haven't done this one. And the other one is Merry Christmas, and this is in really bright colors. I have all of the threads for these on one ring somewhere. It's probably in where my stitchy spot is. And this one is Christmas Rose. I love this one. So Just So Sherry Dodds just finished this. It's gorgeous. If you don't watch Just So Sherry, you should. She's a prolific stitcher. She's very funny. Keeps you entertained. And there's a couple stories she's told that I absolutely thought were I laughed out loud. So keep entertaining us, Sherry. Then this is one that Sean Periwinkle Stitcher, which I also love her videos. She just finished this one. This is called Bells on Christmas Day. And I finished this one 2019, so I guess it's time it got framed. Also by Blackbird Designs. I'm going to take another quick break because I need to get something to drink. Okay, a few other things that I'd like to stitch, and then I'll talk about a few things I got in the mail, and then I'll let you go. This is Comfort and Joy by Plum Street. This came out in last year, 2024. I love this piece. I have it all kitted, so I probably got it from Country Sampler. Comfort and Joy. I love this. So it's between this one and this one. And who knows, I might start both. The other one is Light of Winter by With Thy Needle and Thread. So they're both have a lot of stitching. But I want to do both. So I'm not getting any younger. And I have Light of Winter all kitted. So Comfort and Joy is still... My friend makes these beautiful floss rings. But I have, this is Light of Winter. It's kitted with Winter Brew. It's kitted with 36 count. That's what it calls for. So I may do it with 36. I'm not opposed to 36. I can, 36, 40, 46 are all, I can do all of them. So Comfort and Joy. Light of Winter. The other one that is kind of calling me, this came out last year, I believe. Kathy Barrett, Quaker Christmas Stocking and Sampler. I love her stockings. I have... that's what we used to call nylon. Back when we used to, before it was pantyhose, it was nylons. Before that, it was stockings. Of course, I think stockings were actually like, you had to have a girdle or, now this is really TMI, but it was stockings and then it was nylons and then it was pantyhose. So that's how it progressed. In case you wanted a historical rendition of what we used to wear on our legs, now we'd all just shave them and go. My granddaughter said, she's 10, and she said to me, Grammy, do you shave your legs? I was like, yeah. I said, probably not as often as I used to, but yeah. And she's like, oh. She said, I kind of want to start shaving my legs. I said, well, once you start, there's no going back. She's like, yeah, that's what my mom said. It was funny. No, I've never shaved my legs, Camille. Anyway, that was a little side note there. So this is Quaker Christmas Stocking and Sampler. Country Sampler has this finished and framed in their Christmas pictures. So go to Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and you can see it. And it's long and narrow and framed, and it's gorgeous. Now, I'm sure they have a cotton conversion, but last year I ordered the silks from Hillside Rookery. I think she had a special on it. So I have the silks. Now, I don't know what it was originally stitched, or what Country Sampler stitched it on, but I have a piece of Saltbush. It's kind of a long, skinny piece by Fox and Rabbit that's 40 count. And I think I'm going to stitch it on that because you have to have something that the white is going to show up on. So here's another possible start. I'm kind of excited about that. I'm so glad today. After today, I don't think there's any more days in the forecast that are 80s. I think they're all like 70s. Did I already say that? Maybe. Weather's a big deal. My son and his daughters, or his wife's family, are all going. They're in North Carolina for Thanksgiving. First year we aren't with them for Thanksgiving, so I'm kind of sad. But I'm happy for them because they have a wedding to go to in Virginia on Saturday, and it's not that far from where my daughter-in-law's grandparents have a cabin in Banner Elk, so that's where they'll be. And they decided to go up early and spend Thanksgiving, her whole family. So I said, well, that just means we get more time at Christmas. We'll see how that goes. It's hard when they have to share. See, my daughter doesn't really share because Erin's parents live in Oregon, so they don't get together on Christmas. So anyway, okay, let's talk about things I got in the mail. I got this, the Holly and the Ivy, which is the exclusive from Country Sampler, and it's by Samplers Not Forgotten, Kimberly Nugent. You got to go get this. It's gorgeous. Now, it does have some specialty stitches, but she gives very good diagrams of how to do those specialty stitches. And of course, I still have one from years past, which is Oh Christmas Tree. So they're very similar, and so someday I want to have both of them finished, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. I also got the latest Scattered Seed, which Tammy Black so kindly gifts this to me. It's wonderful. Thank you so much, Tammy. I really appreciate your generosity. And that one's called Share and Share Alike. Scattered Seed. And then I got a couple new Lizzie Kate and some sleds because I make the grandkids each a sled each year. At least I have for the last 3 years, I think. So I'm starting a tradition, trying to. When you only have 2 grandkids, I have no excuse for not. And this is a Christy Crosshatch bag because she always puts the tape measure ribbon on the side. Vintage Christmas, very cute. So then I got a lot of patterns. This one is Bells Are Ringing, which is Brenda Gervais' newest. I pulled the threads for that. I do have the Affogato, which is by Needle and Flax Linen. So I don't know if I'll start that this year or not, but I'd like to. Then I have the Winter Trio, also by Brenda Gervais. These are her newest patterns. Sweater Weather, love him. I may have to kit him up, put him in my smalls to do. He's adorable. Snowman in the forecast. So cute. Because it's warm and I'm in Florida, I generally don't leave snowmen up in January like a lot of people do. Maybe a little bit, couple weeks into maybe, but by middle of January I'm ready for spring because it'll start getting warm here again. Or it'll be warmer. Usually by February. Sometimes we get some cool weather in January. That's more like fall weather for everybody else. The important thing is once the humidity is gone, then it's really beautiful. This is Quaker Snippets number 2. I also have number 1. That's the autumn one, which is the one Sean Periwinkle Stitcher just finished and fully finished. It's gorgeous. This one's really pretty too. And then I have a friend who went to the Dying to Stitch retreat, bought this pattern at Dying to Stitch, not realizing that she was going to get it in her kit. So she let me buy it from her. Needleworkers Pretties. So I don't know if that was exclusive to people that went to the retreat, but like I said, she had 2, and I was able to buy that from her. And then I got my wonderful kit my Patreon kit from Needle and Flax. If you haven't gotten it yet, I won't go into detail about all of it, but it's packaged lovely. Has a historical thing. Has linen and a charm and some thread. And I won't tell you the linen color because I think we're all getting the same. So that came the other day. I still haven't gotten my exclusive from the Teresa Kogut fall one. I did place it like in the last 3 or 4 days, but hopefully that'll be arriving soon. I won't stitch it till next year, so it's all good. So he left me. He wanted me to put out some quilts. This is one I get out every year. There's different names for this. Some people call it corn and beans, I think. And it's all red and white, or red shirtings and reds, but it bled, and I've washed it multiple times. So like these, some of these blocks are, and it's a big quilt. Some of them are pink. It's not specifically Christmas, but I get it out. Because I don't do a lot of red and white or red and cream, except around Christmas I get it out. This one is one I made years and years and years and years ago, and this is a Thimbleberries quilt. Sometimes I hang this one. It has the snow flakes at the top. Then it has a bunch of 8-pointed stars, has trees on the side. And then at the very bottom, it has reindeer. And then it has a black border. It's very typical Thimbleberries, if you were around quilting in that era. This is just a table topper. It's just a one patch of reds. And it has a toile on the back. And it's, I don't know, 36, 40 inches square. This one bled some too, because I used some of the same fabrics. This one is a 9-patch on point, and this was actually a gift. We used to exchange quilts, but this is one of my very favorite, and usually this goes on the table at Christmas. So my dishes are red. And then this one, this is from a book. I used to teach this book a lot. It was called Pick 3. Anyway, you pick 3, something like that. Takes 3 fabrics, so there's a stripe, there's a kind of a ditzy print, and then a star, but they're all reds and greens. And then you just make the same block over and over. It has a 4-patch in the middle. We have a lot of Christmas quilts, so I don't have them all out. The one that's on the table here was a country sampler. Let me see if I can pull it up a little more. Country sampler kit years ago with the pinwheel. And then the print in here, you can't tell it, but it has little houses. And it's a good, I put it on the dining room table. We don't have any leaves in the table right now, so I put it on diagonally. But that's a fun one. So anyway, I think that's all that I have. I'm going to reach, and because he's gone, so I'm going to reach, and so I will say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and love ya. Bye. Stretch. So we're doing a test because my shirt looks terrible. So, hi, I'm Saltbox Stitcher.
Hi, I'm Mr. Saltbox Stitcher.
So you say,
or so they say.
Bye.